Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a subscriber. This is from a guy, sounds like he's in his early to maybe mid 30s. And he's writing in with literally the title in his email saying, overdosed on the ARB pill. He's in a situation here where this guy, he likes to date. Obviously one day down the road, sounds like he wants to have kids and all that. He's one of those guys, that's his business. But the problem he's having is that given his age, early to mid 30s, he's finding that the women that are upper 20s or right around 30, they want to rush things. They want it within like 18 months to 2 years, get that ring on their finger, have a wedding, have a baby, all that, and that's not what he wants. Or the younger gals there in their early to mid 20s, he just can't relate to them because they're too freaking immature or different life goals, values, all that. So he's kind of like wondering, what the hell should I do in this situation? So I'm going to go through his thing here, and as I read it, it's going to sound familiar to a lot of you guys that are kind of in a situation like him, that have this knowledge, this ARB pill knowledge, but still do date and relationships, but you're armed and dangerous with this information to help protect you. And I'll give him information what I think he can do to help his situation. So starts off, he says, hey SSM, I've been listening to your content since it first popped up on my recommended videos about 1.5 years ago. I love the stories and it keeps me entertained during the gym workouts or when I'm working in the garage. Brother, thank you for your support. I'm glad you enjoy the channels. I've been a single guy for the last few years. I date casually here and there, but that's the extent of it. Since getting into my 30s a little while back, I'm finding this has easily been the most difficult time period for me to date women. The majority of women in my age range are looking for commitment, typically bringing up marriage and kids right away. He says it's true what they say about the big 3-0. What I tell you. There is a common theme. They all want that ring and baby within 18 to 24 months. Far too soon. You're damn right it's far too soon. You meet a girl and already she's talking about, she's probably, let me guess, dating with a purpose. No longer dating for other things, dating with a purpose. She's going to find that guy that she can rope in within 2 years, ring on her finger, married, pregnant, all that. Because she's scared to death of the big 3-0. While I'm open to that down the road, their window for kids will not be open long enough for it to happen with me. As a result, I've tried shifting my focus to dating younger women, but I rarely have enough in common with them to even bother with a second date. Just too much of a gap in terms of everything from goals to life experience and values. I find lately that the risk versus reward of dating modern women keeps leading to me to put that time and effort towards working more overtime, pursuing my personal goals, hitting the gym, or tackling a new project or venture instead. Something with a guaranteed reward, whether it be money, experience, or personal satisfaction. Yeah, well, get in line, brother. There are probably about close to 200,000 dudes that subscribe to my channel here that understand exactly what you're talking about. What advice can you offer us guys in our early to mid 30s who are in similar situations? Guys who are caught between dating women who are batshit crazy, who are baby crazy and expect an engagement ring within 18 months of dating someone or dating someone younger with whom we have little to nothing in common with. Love the channels. Keep up the good work. So here's what I think. My first, I guess, question is, you know, you're dating. Now, are you doing that with regards to dating the gals? Is it for companionship, to have fun, to go see a movie with, or go to a concert with? Is it purely for socializing? Because if it is, why waste the time and money when you could just do those same things with your bros? You know? I mean, really. Or are you dating so you obviously can get some ass on occasion? Because if that's the case, if you're purely dating either the ones close to your age, upper 20s, maybe early 30s, or the younger 20-somethings, purely to hook up from time to time, here's the thing. At the end of the day, if that's only what you want, because you're in no rush you don't need a relationship, and you certainly don't want to get married now or anytime soon, then let's keep in mind, you might save yourself a whole lot of time, energy, and money if you hired a pro. Now, I'm not saying that that's the best decision. I'm just laying it out there. I know there are guys that do that. I have a friend that does that because he doesn't want to have to deal with all the bullshit. And it works out just fine for him. And it's actually cheaper because you know what you're getting. There's no wasting time on dating apps and dating and the money being spent on dates and all that. And think about how much time and effort it takes your average guy. Think about this. Your average guy, from the wooing period and the courtship to the money spent on dates and stuff like that before they actually get some. And even then, there are things that go along with that. That's a very important question, as opposed to just, here's a few $100 and I'm getting exactly what I want. I'm out of here in 45 minutes to an hour, and end of story. So you have to question that. Now, with regards to, let's just say you do enjoy dating gals and you want to avoid pros, and you want to but the problem is they're either too young and dumb and immature, or they're older and they're trying to rush you to the altar. You got one of two choices. With regards to the young and dumb 20-somethings they have nothing in common with, you can either just put that aside and date them and have your hookups if you want, then move on. Or with regards to the ones that are closer to your age that you do have things in common with, but they're trying to rush things along, you can either A, lie through your teeth and say, oh yeah, I want to be married in 2 years. Oh yeah, I want to have kids. I don't recommend that because, let's be honest, us guys, we need to have a code here. And while I'm not trying to create any Boy Scouts out there, of course not, but I think we need to have a code here, because otherwise we're behaving just like these gals out there that are nowadays are quite dishonorable. I don't want guys to be that way, but if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. You can lie through your teeth. Not that I recommend it, but you could, and just say what they need to say. You hook up all that, and then you cast them aside to the next girl. Or, the more honorable route, you can make it abundantly clear from the beginning, hey, let's just see where this goes. I'm not interested in marriage or kids anytime soon. And that will immediately weed out the ones that want to rush you to the altar, or you'll get the ones that may think, okay, I can change his mind. Oh yes, I can change it. They'll think, ooh, challenge. I can get this guy. Either I will get to him through his heart, or I'll baby trap him. So if you go down that route, you have to be very careful. Very careful not to fall in love with a girl, and then your heart's, she's got you wrapped around a little finger, she's got your heart involved, and then she says, either you marry me or put a ring on my finger, or I'm out of here, and you go against what you want. You need to be very strong in your convictions not to fall for that one. Or she tries to baby trap you, and you know what happens, which means you must always wear protection. Dispose of your protection. You get the point. I say it all the fucking time. And never buy them out on the pill nonsense. And even then, if you do that, and one day she says, we have to talk, and then she tells you, I'm with child, and then you have to have the strength to say, paternity test. But, or you date the one, you make it abundantly clear from the beginning on your dating apps or your conversations, and the ones that actually don't want to have kids anytime soon, and there are some, or don't want to get married anytime soon, they'll take their time, and you can have fun there. But, so you got options. But here's the thing. Again, you said, you mentioned something very quick that maybe one day down the road with kids. Now, I'm assuming then you recognize that, generally speaking, that means involve having a wife. If down the road that's what you want, perhaps this. You do what you want to do now, going forward, and maybe when you're in your 40s, when you actually may be ready to have kids and all that, the gals that are in their 20s now will now be like 30 years old. They will have grown up a little bit, we hope. And then maybe then you can go from there, but you'll have all this knowledge that you've gained over the years about taking a long time with a girl to get to know her, years, and I don't mean 18 to 24 months like the girls want to rush things now. You get to meet her family, see what the relationship she has with her family. Is it a good one or a bad one? If it's a good one, move forward. If it's a bad one, cut her loose. What her friends are like, how she is with money, how she is with communication, how she is at resolving problems. Do you have some deal breakers that are important that you guys can match up with? All these things. Does she have the same values that you do? Is she traditional? Is she loyal and loving and supportive of your goals? If you're a guy that's on his grind, want to make something of himself, is she supportive of you now, not saying, oh, I'll see you later when you're at the finish line, you have all your wealth? Those things. And then both of you get prenups. This is on the basis if you would one day, on the basis of having children, get married. But there's no rush. But don't fall for the trap of these gals that want to rush into things. And I know that there are a lot out there that want to rush into things. They had their fun in the carousel in their high school and college days, and now they're done that. Now dating with a purpose. That's they say nowadays. And they're asking you on the first date, do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids and all that? And And by you being honest, you can weed out the ones that obviously that's not going to go with, or be careful with the ones that be like, okay, no problem, and they think they're, or, like I said, you could take the more dishonorable path and just lie through your fucking teeth. Sure, I want to have kids in 24 months. Sure, I want to get married with the right girl in 24 months. And you hook up with them, and then you kick them to the curb and move on. I want to recommend that only because I'm not trying to create Boy Scouts here, but just sticking to a certain code, and we don't want to behave like these a-holes out there that are one too many. Or just simply, you can hire a pro. But yes, bro, it is difficult out there for a guy right now. But remember something, and I want to point this out. I almost forgot. You are in your early to mid-30s. Guess what, dude? You and the guys out there that are in their early to mid-30s, guess what? You are now in your prime. That's when the prime of a guy begins. Okay, our prime is unless you have very good genetics. And by the time you're 16, you're 6'2", and you come from a family that has some money, and maybe you have a pool that you can invite people over, girls, and you're great at sports, and you're popular, and you're in that 1 or 2% of guys out there that all the girls want to go after. If you're your average guy that's not like that, your prime wasn't when you were younger. Your prime begins in your 30s. The problem is a lot of guys, when they get to be close to 30 years old, they're just dying to get that girl because they've had little to no attention from girls when they're growing up. High school, college, and all that. And before their prime even begins, they grab the first girl that pays attention to them, that really, and usually those girls are trying to settle, and those same guys aren't the types they would have given the time of day to until they're ready to settle, and this is what you have in the world. You're in your early mid-30s, and you, like a lot of dudes out there, can take your time because they're going to be more and more chasing after you because, as you're well aware, you said yourself, the ones in their late 20s that are rushing because they're afraid of that big 3-0, marriage, kids, you can take your sweet ass time and make them wait. So keep that in mind. I wouldn't rush into anything. And the older you get, as you better yourself in terms of, say, your career, your goals, your ambitions, gain all this knowledge, become the best version of yourself, you're going to be more of a catch. And just like a young gal who's in her prime, in her around 21, 22 years old, when her absolute prime, when she can get as many guys as she wants, in a way, a guy, as he gets older, and again, if he takes care of himself physically, in good shape, dresses well, presents himself, has a good personality, has charm and charisma, has some money, has resources, all that, which I want all you guys to do for yourself first, of course, but as a byproduct, it will attract the gals. You're going to have a lot. It'll be almost, not completely, but almost like the young gal in her prime attracting guys. And for you guys out there that have experienced this, you know what I'm talking about. And you have the choice. And you can do everything on your own timeline and no rush to anything. So that's what I want you to remember here. So I get you're frustrated because you don't want to date these dumbass 20-somethings that are staring at their phone, their Instagram, and you can't relate to. Or these dumbasses that are in their early 30s also look at their phones all the time, but they're rushing you in, but you have more in common with them, and they're trying to rush into things. You have to rush into shit because you're the catch. And the older you get and the more you better yourself, the more you're the catch, and you can call the shots. But you have to be aware of that and know that. I don't want to sound like the other side, but you can know your worth. And go from there. But be careful. Be careful of the baby trappers. Always wear protection. But if you're just dating, just for some companionship, just hang out with your bros. Or if you're dating to hook up, okay, fine, you can hook up, but just go from there. And down the road, like I said, if you want something more serious, do it when you're ready. But don't rush because you got plenty of time. I hope that makes sense. And I was jumping around there. It's kind of a different Ask SSM today. Usually I have it, the subject is on different things, but I try to help guys in all areas here. I got guys of all backgrounds writing into me about different things. I got guys that are watching right now that literally could have the Dallas Cowboys cheerleading squad show up on their doorstep and want to have a giant orgy, and these guys are so done with women, they would slam the door in their face and tell them to get off their fucking lawn. It's true. But I got other guys that do want to date, or one day want to be married, one day, depending on their culture and religion, and they just want to be better prepared. So I try to do this to tell about every guy out there as I can. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me think about this. Let this guy know what you think to help him out. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.